Well, today's video is going to be something a little bit different. Hi, I'm Sue from Garden Moxie. Welcome to my Southeast Michigan garden. Spring has finally sprung here, and today I want to take you on a quick tour of the garden, and I have some very big news to share. This is probably going to be one of the last times that we get to tour this garden because we are moving to a different state. I'd love to tell you that I'm getting ready to move into a place that has a magnificent garden, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. I am going to be starting over from scratch. And not only that, but I've got a temporary space to move into before we get to our final destination. This is going to be a great adventure, and I hope that you'll join me. And now I need to figure out what special plants that have sentimental meaning I'm going to take with me and how I'm going to prepare for my new gardening adventure. Now, one of the things I needed to figure out was what I'm going to do. I definitely want to get my seedlings that I grew during the winter time. I want to get these in the garden so that the new homeowner can enjoy these plants. I have to say that the seedlings are looking great. They are all hardened off now and ready to go into the garden. And here on this tray, I've got a bunch of jasmine tobacco plants, flowering tobacco plants, that I'll be putting in the garden with white blooms. Orioles! What a special treat. Oh, I love birds. And so we've got some gomphrena, I've got some Chinese forget-me-nots, some white blooming orangium, I've got white blooming violas here. These lupins I'm actually going to be taking with me. Some Dusty Miller baby blue eyes. Again, we've talked about these desert bells before. Those will go in the pollinator garden. And then I have these white blooming stock. These are actually looking really quite good. So I'm going to go ahead. One of the things I need to get done today is to get these planted up in the garden. Now, this area of the garden will look a little bit different from past videos. This is the Japanese maple that I moved and replaced a white blooming lilac that wasn't doing well in this area. And this is the new location. This plant is filling out nicely. It looks like it transplanted really quite well. And one of the plants I'll be taking with me is the other Japanese maple. This plant has some sentimental value for me. I've already removed it from the garden and potted it up here. And I'm looking forward to finding a new home for this. So we've got our native woodland border is starting to fill out. We've got blooms on the native geraniums. This is all looking very nice. It really has been a very cold spring here in Michigan, and I am unfortunately going to report that the boxwood moth is really flourishing in this garden. So last week I sprayed some BT and started to prepare the garden for the springtime, and it looks like this boxwood moth is really going to be problematic here in Southeast Michigan. So one of the ways that I am preparing to move is that I'm repairing this turf that needed to be reseeded, and you can see the straw over here. So I'm planning on taking a couple hellebores with me. There's some epimediums that I want to take as well, and some hostas. Along with that, I've got a clematis that my mom had in her garden up at the lake house that has some serious sentimental value, and so that plant will be going with me as well, and the irises that I got from her lake house. But besides that, pretty much that and the Japanese maples, everything else is going to be staying. I'm going to leave the supports for the Annabelle hydrangeas so the new homeowner has that in the garden. And I think I've got everything. The boxwood I've sprayed with BT. We have had a return of the boxwood moth, which is really unfortunate. But I am taking care of that to make sure that the boxwoods stay healthy as we can keep them. So we did have the red bud trees were blooming. Everything really has been filling out, and the forget-me-nots are just starting to bloom in the Mary garden. Oh, here in my Mary garden, we've just started to see the forget-me-nots starting to bloom. I just love these flowers. This is one of my favorite times of the year because of them. And you can see here that the tricolored willow is just starting to get the white tips on the top of these trees. So everything is starting to fill out and it looks really very pretty. But I want to share something really special. I've been waiting for some tulips to pop up. These were tulips my mom picked out before she passed away. My mom died on March 3rd of this year. So I've been waiting for these tulips to come up. She would have loved them. Let me show them to you. So these are some of the tulips that my mom picked out last autumn. And they've been blooming for about a week and a half now. And they're so pretty. I mean, just look at how beautiful they look. So what I didn't realize about these tulips from the packaging was the fact that they actually have yellow on the inside. You can see that here. And then they've got this beautiful red and white pattern and these beautiful white edges along the leaves. My mom would have loved these tulips. And the Brunera here, this is Jack Frost, the variety Jack Frost. So this has started blooming here in the garden, and again, it's got these beautiful blue blooms that look like little forget-me-not flowers. Such a pretty plant. All right, so the first thing I've got here are my flowering tobacco plants, and I want to get these into the shade border here. These are jasmine tobacco, so a white flowering tobacco plant, and these will look great in this part shade garden here. So I'm just going to kind of put them along the edges of the border. So these flowering tobacco plants just have the most beautiful scent. And then especially this variety called jasmine tobacco, which obviously it got its name from the white bloom and also because it's got a very beautiful scent. So I'm just gonna kind of spread these out here in the Mary garden, just in little drifts so that they can bloom together. Probably put them in groups of 5, I think 5 plants, 5 or 7 plants, and just keep doing that through the garden. So I definitely want to plant these desert bells into the pollinator garden. So I did decide to plant all of the desert bells here in the pollinator garden up in the front. And I have to say that that color blue looks great with that creeping phlox that's out in the springtime. It's not that easy to see in the, because we've got bright sun, which I'm glad about today, but you can kind of see the blue of those desert bells mixing with the pink of the creeping phlox. So I think that looks really pretty. And then I did plant the gomphrena right up there in front next to the Japanese forest grass in front of the boxwood there. And those are a beautiful deep pink color, so those will look really nice in the summertime. So I did manage to get quite a few plants planted in the garden, and I'm definitely going to miss this garden, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm excited about building something new. And believe me, what we're going to start with is going to be the very basics. So I really do hope that you'll join me. I hope you'll follow along. Next week I'm going to try to post some photographs of the new property, and I'd love to hear what you think. It's a big move. That's it for this video. and we'll see you in the next one.